All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Tournament Tactics. Today, we're taking a look at the NFL Week 16 main slate on FanDuel and DraftKings. We got a big week of NFL just action going on here. Saturday football, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. It goes on and on and on. We're excited about it. And with me to break it down, we got the crew back together again. Of course, we got the Shark Lab, Adam Burns, author of Winning the $1 Million Game, Secrets of the DraftKings Million Maker. He's going to bring in the secrets.
And don't forget, we got an all-Indiana matchup tonight with Indiana University taking on Notre Dame in the first game of the playoffs.
Big time college football action going.
All Indiana. That sounds like
all Indiana. It does, right?
Indiana. I don't even know why we're talking about.
Can't wait for
college sports.
Indiana might be the worst state in the union.
We're talking
out there.
Tomorrow night's when it all comes down. Buckeyes take on Tennessee, baby.
1 minute in.
You're killing my intro here. All right. In addition, we've got Josiah, Milfbait, GPP multi-time winner, NBA, multi-sport, NFL champion. And then, of course, two-time DraftKings and FanDuel, actually FanDuel and Draft, for one of each, Millie Maker winner. New name, Bobby 3 times. Got to get the millions, got to get the millions, got to get the millions. Bobby 3 times. Not Bobby 2 times, Bobby 3 times. Got to get the millions. All right, breaking it all down. So we have a big slate, and the field has no idea. Last week, all right, hold up a sec. We just got to talk about what happened last week. Last week, we spent the first 5 minutes of this breakdown talking about the field and why they were stupid for ignoring Josh Allen and Jared Goff, and you're going to play Kyler Murray, and I said it just like that. You're going to play Kyler Murray. You're going to play Will Levis when Josh Allen is on the card in the Dome. Okay. Now, I did promote a little Jammo, but we got off of that later on Saturday when the weather conditions and Njoku were going to be out, so that's fair.
Sure.
I wound up in my 150 lineups with 50% Josh Allen, 25% Jared Goff, and then 25% a bunch of the Nayer duels.
You would have been better off if you flip-flop Goff and Allen.
Correct.
Yeah,
that would have been nice, but I wouldn't have known that in advance, unfortunately. So it worked out really well. Unfortunately for me, guys, the Amari Cooper donut was like a kick in the balls.
That one hurt.
That dude kicked me in the sack.
Yeah, it was literally a kick in the balls because one reception would have thousands. 3 receptions, fives of thousands. Like, that's how much money it was, because I was up so huge with the 0.
Well, I had so many Devontae Adams and Brian Thomas lineups together, and they all had Josh Allen and Mari Cooper, and they fucked them up.
Yeah, we should have played Keon Coleman, man.
Stevenson was not great.
Or Cook did well. By the way, you just didn't need to stack Josh Allen, and that is the lesson. As much as I want to always stack, I feel like correlation is so king. He doesn't need to be stacked. There's not been a single game this year. Guys, it's gotten to the point where it's actually predictive. There hasn't been a single game this whole season where you actually needed to stack him. You could have just played him naked every time.
Well, actually, the prior week, you could have stacked him with Kahil.
You could have, but it didn't make a difference. Like, if you didn't, no big deal. Like, what am I, stacking him with Ty Johnson? He's throwing at people you never even heard of.
Yeah, right.
So we have another week of goodness to break down, and we got the crew together again to bring it to you. So let's jump right into NFL Week 16 main slate. We're talking Sunday football. Already did the Saturday breakdown with BobbyWow earlier today. If you missed it, DFS Army YouTube channel, that thing. You'll see it.
It's good. Very good.
Good Saturday breakdown. So now let's jump in. All right. First, we'll jump over to the game tiles, and we're going to talk about some of these matchups. And not a lot of these games really stand out. Like, this is not like last week. Remember last week we had that one game at 55 and everything else was 45 and 42?
Beautiful.
This week, wait, let me see if I can make this bigger. Hang on. Let me enlarge.
Lions are part of the juiciest game once again.
You're not wrong.
Yes, maybe. I like that you're saying that, Bobby, because
Right.
I hope so. But
I mean, that's what the books think. That's all.
That's
Not
right.
me, the
That is the
books.
highest total game on the slate. So you've got the Titans at the Colts. Everybody likes Anthony Richardson. I get it. There, I would say that the Titans are a better offense with Mason Rudolph in there than they are with Will Levis.
Which tells you all you need to know about their offense. It's
That's so true.
Correct. So Anthony Richardson gonna be high owned. Good luck with that. Right? He's going to be the highest owned, Josiah. So you're surprised. Look, he is the guy that people are playing this week. I get it. But, there's a lot of downside to Anthony Richardson when it's not working out. The Browns, in one of the all-time blunders, have benched Jamo in favor of DTR this week. Disaster. Unplayable. Cannot play anybody with DTR there. And what I think, so that game has a 46.5 point total. I'm actually surprised at how high the team total is for the Browns. And I personally don't think that game will be competitive at all.
Your JMO bias is way too hot.
Yeah. No.
Because DTR is a running quarterback.
No.
He's been so bad lately. I see both sides here.
He's been horrible. I'm just saying, if we're going to tout Jameis every week, we got to be willing to accept that DTR is capable.
You know what DTR isn't doing? You know what he's not doing, BobbyWow? He's not jamming. He's not jamming. That's not what he's doing.
Jamming. He's not jamming.
What? I don't even want to know about that fucking guy. Is he jamming? No. Fuck him.
Soft matchup though, since he hasn't been a good defense this season.
Until last week, by the way, I got ripped for my Bengals defense call last week too. Oh, Geek, why are you picking a shitty defense? It's called because I know who Will Levis is. That's why you pick that defense.
Dude, we were on him on the tournament tactics last week.
Yes. Yeah. No, we got trolled in the comment. You didn't see it because I have to see the comments and read them all.
Well, fuck the comments.
I read all the comments. The comments.
Whew, we're flying in here.
This day.
Yeah, I should have preemptively put a turd hat on for the Jamo. But Chris, if you were in the DFS Army Discord, here's what you don't know. That on Sunday morning in the DFS Army Discord, I ate my humble pie before the slate and said, listen, guys, I know I've been touting up Jamo. I know I even danced a music video to Jamo this week, but between the rain and Njoku not playing, the whole Jamo play is not as great. And I said, I literally said, shift your attention to Goff and Josh Allen and you'll be fine. That is my comment. It is sitting in the Discord in the notes. Go look at it now, DFS Army subscribers. You know it happened.
Yeah. You added everyone too. So
everyone did. By the way, that was humble pie. It was not an easy channel tag for me personally. Like to have to do that. It's not easy for me, Bobby, to do that.
No, I know. But it's in the Discord where your grave would be. So
yeah,
thank God
I was like,
right?
I gotta get people off it because I was getting off of him.
My Lord in heaven. That might be the worst football performance we've seen in some time.
It was not good. Although I will say Jerry Jeudy came through for me. even with Jamo playing that bad. Next up, Jets. This one's interesting. Jets at home against the Rams. Listen, Aaron Rodgers styled last week against a crapola defense. Can he do it against like a better version of a team in terms of the Rams? No. You say no.
No, I played him last week. We were over like on Wilson and Adams, but not this week. He can't do it. It's about to all come crashing down.
The choices are minimal here, but I will say from some insider knowledge of the Jets, they are not demotivated. Aaron Rodgers actually seems to want to play next year. And and basically the ownership is saying if they play well down the stretch, he's actually going to bring back Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams for one more run.
That poor team.
Yay.
Yeah, but does Aaron Rodgers want to play for the Jets?
That's what I'm saying. I have some info that he does want to play next year and that they will not be tanking. They're going to actually try to win the game.
Okay.
This game is exciting and unowned for some reason, but why is no one So the Eagles at Washington, battle of the legs quarterbacks. They're twins basically. Jaden Daniels and Jalen Hurts, they're kind of the same guy a little bit for me. And I love that they're facing off NFC East match rivalry, right up the turnpike or whatever the hell it is, the I-95. That's an exciting game, and no one's playing it. I don't know why.
Tough defenses.
Good defenses. Yep.
Yeah, okay. You know who else had a good defense? Denver and the Chargers. How'd that work out last night?
I'm starting to doubt the goodness of those two defenses as we get further into the season,
they're not that good. And that smash. So the highest total on the slate is this Lions and actually I'm going to go back to the other one because John mentioned something here. Washington has no healthy pass catchers except for Scary Terry.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one else that you've even heard of. Ertz is out. Even Noah Brown is gone. It's just like Olamide, Zacchaeus, and then like De'Ami Brown. They have nothing.
The guys you never heard of are hurt. And now there's more guys you never heard of.
Yeah, some of those guys are hurt too. Like, what are they going to do without De'Ami?
Yeah, and we can get excited about Scary Terry in situations like that when they're up against a bad defense like New Orleans and the Giants and stuff like that. But when you're facing a better defense, they're a little bit better at knowing, okay, we only have to worry about one guy. So I wouldn't get too excited about Terry here, but I get it.
Philly side
usage goes up.
The Philly side. It's all Philly side this game.
Who?
The Phillies. The Philly side. Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then so Hurts, easy play, by the way. Why would you play the other side? You're right. Hurts is an easy play, and he's almost the same price as Jaden Daniels. What I think might be one of the better games here, and Vegas likes it, is the Lions at the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
A replay of a game that happened a couple weeks ago where both teams absolutely went off in terms of scoring, fantasy production. It was a great game for Caleb and crew. Lions are only held back by, how many times the running backs score versus how many times, they throw for touchdowns. But without Montgomery on that team, we really can now dive into, they'll probably have fewer of those goal line smashes. Increases the potentially goodness of Stafford. You got the next. What's that, Bobby?
Oh, Goff.
Yeah,
not Stafford. Goff.
Oh yeah, Goff. Stafford used to see. I'm having too much. I'm waking up too much with the Toklers.
That's part of waking up.
Yeah, apparently. So next we've got the Cardinals at the Panthers, Josiah's team. Your beloved Bryce Young is the 5th highest owned quarterback on the slate.
Insanity.
You know how much Bryce Young I'm interested in having this week?
None. Hopefully, right?
0.
Yeah. Okay.
What
Good
are they doing?
That makes 0 sense.
What shows are people watching? Last week, those ownerships stayed like what we saw here. It didn't change. I was like, this is a joke. Everything's going to change. No, they went with it. What are you guys doing out there?
I mean, I get taking a shot if he's playing a bad defense, but the Cardinals have been good over the last few weeks. They're not really a team you want to pick on. So no. I don't get it.
The Cowboys owned this team too. You got to only play the Panthers against like the Jaguars or some other horrifically bad defense.
Do you think it's a salary play?
No. I think it's I don't know what to do this week, so I'm just going to click buttons play.
Yeah.
It's just when there's no clear-cut plays, everybody's like, let's play Will Levis like last week. Like, why are you going to play?
Because he's only 5,300. I mean, that's...
But Richardson and Williams are right there.
Yeah, true.
And AOC.
I just hope everyone listened to me when we talked about fading Chuba again.
Yeah, I mean, BobbyWow's been fading chalk Chuba since before it was popular.
It didn't work out last week.
That's why they call him Bobby 3 times.
Worked out 3 of the last 4 weeks, frankly.
What's that?
Okay.
It's worked out 3 of the last 4 weeks.
Bobby 3 times. 3 fades.
Giants. Those are good rushing defenses, though, to be fair.
Giants at the Cardinals. No, Falcons. Cardinals. Giants are at the Falcons. And this game is also, this is an intriguing game. Let's go through it. not just because the Falcons are starting Penix, who we're all excited about, Stoneman salary. I will share the unfortunate. He's not a running quarterback, just to be very, very clear. But he was a good prospect. He's a first round pick, and I'm excited to see him play. I love that they went this way, and I don't think the Falcons are doing it because they think he's bad. I mean, Kirk Cousins has been mid. Do you guys think that this is the end of Kirk Cousins in Atlanta completely? Next year he gets traded, we won't see him again?
I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to squeak into the playoffs that Cousins starts in the playoffs. I don't think it's done. I don't think he's done.
Yeah.
We shall see. The intriguing part of this game for me is actually on the Giants side, because once again, they are screwed in the sense that as much as they want to tank and lose, all of their tank quarterbacks are injured, and they're forced to go back to Drew Lock, who is actually the best quarterback on their roster and gives them a competent chance at playing acceptable football. I like the Giants here against the spread. And I think the Giants can be competitive in this game with Drew Lock at the helm.
Are you going to play Drew Lock in DFS, though?
I will play Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Drew Lock. I'm really more on the Malik. Like, if Malik Neighbors can be okay. I will say in this game, I did a little bit of digging, and it's not time to call Tyrone anymore. They have now shifted back to 50-50 Tyrone and Singletary, so that whole situation is finished. So we're not going to call Tyrone, but we might call Malik, and he is super inexpensive this week. So that was an interesting one. Another game. So next up, we've got Vikings at Seattle. The chat is awesome. I love you guys, man. I'm going to play. It's a Vikings at Seattle, 42.5 point total. And Geno will play. Geno's back and healthy. I don't know. It's very neutral, 42.5 points.
It feels like you have to take the shot here, for me at least.
I mean, Justin Jefferson, best wide receiver on the slate just by default. I mean, it's an argument with him and Chase, but I think this game has more competitive chances, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. We'll talk about it at the wide receiver group. Patriots at the Bills, a beating. Can you play Josh Allen? Last week we played Josh Allen in a hyper competitive matchup and we got the 40, right? The week before he was in another competitive matchup, we got the 50. Now he's in not a competitive matchup. Not sure that is the kind of environment that leads to the 40 plus pointer, but you never know. Unowned Josh Allen. Intriguing, Josiah?
I mean, I'm not the right person to talk about Josh Allen for. I haven't been on him for weeks. Granted, I had a good amount of golf, so that helped. But yeah, I'm not paying up at quarterback. I just don't do it.
That's fair. San Francisco, there's so many injuries in this game. At the Dolphins, 44.5 point total. San Francisco side, Guerrero ruled out. He's not playing. In his place, Patrick Taylor.
Yep.
We're playing Patrick Taylor this week, people. Don't scoff. There's no scoffing at Patrick Taylor. It's called 49ers RB. We play him, no matter what his name is. I don't care. On the Dolphins side, Jalen Waddle is out. Now, I can't remember the WR2's name at the moment for the Dolphins.
Washington.
What is it? Like
Malik
Washington? Yeah, so we'll get a bargain value guy in Malik Washington, if that's the first name, for the Dolphins. We also get a very, very concentrated target share going to Reek and Achan and Janu Smith. So, interesting. And then finally, another game with all kinds of stuff going on that I think actually might be more intriguing than you think.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars at the Raiders. The Raiders are going back to AOC, not Alexandra Ocasio. I'm talking Aiden O'Connell. This kid's good, man. He's not that bad, BobbyWow.
He's horrible. He's horrible.
No, he's better than that other turd that they rolled out last week.
True.
Des Ridder is terrible.
I don't know. Des Ridder looked more competent at times than AOC.
Stop.
No.
Hey, you're an AOC hater.
No.
He stinks.
Is he your new Jammo?
No, he's definitely not a new jam. There might be a new Jammo.
At least for the week, right?
There might be a new Jammo, but that's not. I think Penix might be the new Jammo this week.
Oh gosh.
Oh, no.
That's not the same. That's not the same.
Savage wants a 2-game slate, breakdown. I got to do an actual players club tomorrow. I got to figure this out. No promises as of yet, my man. I might maybe do. Let me get a firm maybe on that one. Then we'll do a live later tonight and set up the optimizer for the 2-game. What was I saying? Yeah. But I think AOC makes all of the pass catchers, especially Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is unplayable with Des Ridder there. It was disgusting. It was sickening to watch it. Like watching the game, I was actually getting sick because they want to feed Brock Bowers the rock nonstop. That's the whole team only has eyes for that kid. But Des is so bad and his accuracy is so terrible that he just could not get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think me in my heyday might have been a little more accurate of a quarterback than Des Ridder. Me in my heyday.
Jacoby Myers becomes a better play there too.
Yes.
More viable.
Both of those guys. And the Raiders also have a running back situation that's kind of sketchy right now. I actually don't know. I mean, we had Amir Abdullah. So we had that Monday 2-game slate, if you remember. And we were all like looking at, whatever the starter guy, I forgot his name, name forgotten forever. He's injured on IR.
Sincere McCormick.
Yeah. What was it?
Sincere
McCormick.
Yeah.
Sincere McCormick. I had played the slate with the idea, all right, what if it's not Sincere McCormick? What if it's Alexander Madison? Or what if Sincere gets hurt? So I boosted up my Alexander Madison exposure.
Me too.
And then it went to Amir Abdullah. Why? Now it's brutal. Why isn't my stat combination showing up when I use the Dom station? That's a question for the Discord, where we will look at your screenshot and tell you what you're doing and how to do it right. Okay. We talked through the games. And as you guys can see, I mean, there's really not one game that stands out. There is no precious one to rule the others like there was last week. Unless you think, no, Lions at the Bears cannot be that, BobbyWow. I'm sorry. I know you want it to be.
It's as close as we can get to being excited.
It's the highest total. Yeah, but they're all bunched together, which is why you get ownerships where no one knows who to play. Check this out. Quarterback group. You ready for this? Sorted by ownerships. At the very top, Anthony Richardson, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5,400 on DraftKings, kind of cheap. We know his outcomes. He either gets you at 12 or he gets you at 28. It's almost never anything in between, right? The 28, plenty great for his salary level. You don't even have to stack him. He's just naked quarterback. You let him out there. He's swinging in the wind. Just like that. Swinging in the wind, naked out there, just running around. Fine. But that's high ownership. And then Michael Penix, never started before, doesn't do anything. He doesn't run with the football. He's 45. He's not even that cheap.
He's a lefty too.
Lefty?
Ugh.
He's a lefty.
Unacceptable.
He's a lefty, and
what does that
Drake
mean? Why do I
London-
care if he's a lefty? What's the difference?
Drake London and all of them have seen a righty quarterback all year up until this point in time.
Are you saying
The ball comes out of the hand differently as a lefty? It actually tails.
I'm just going to say this right now, Burns. If you've gone through Pee Wee League, right?
Yeah.
All of high school, all of college football, spare time, and you've been practicing and playing football all of those years.
Yep.
and then somebody switches the arm in which the ball is coming towards you, and all of a sudden you can't track it into your hand.
Yeah.
We got bigger problems than any of that. I don't.
It's a thing, though. It's a thing.
It's
You
true.
hear
it's
NFL
reality.
receivers talk about it all the time. Like since like the 60s, 70s, they've been talking about lefty, right arm.
Do you remember when Jamar Chase first came into the league and they're like, it's a slightly bigger ball and it's got some stripes and he's not tracking it? That was the biggest pile of shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's
Come
dumb.
on.
But that's dumb. The lefty thing's real.
Yeah,
Is it?
It does move differently. Yes.
Everybody's saying it makes a big deal.
Mhm.
Okay. Listen. Throw it from your left, your right. I don't care. Yeah, Penix though. All right. Caleb Williams, third on the list. He's going to be the chalk. I thought I was getting cute in the first look for this weekend, putting Caleb in there. And now, no, he's the third.
7% is the chalk. We're calling 7% the chalk now.
You can't look at these numbers. I just look at the order because we don't actually know. The actual numbers are rarely correct. Like ownership projections are very.
So let's say they're incorrect. Where would you guess they would go? Lower than that, I would assume, right?
I don't know. But I'm telling you, when you look through the list, no one knows who to play. To me, the craziest thing about this list is I scroll in order to find Jalen Hurts. I can't even find him. Why is he the lowest owned quarterback? And then Jared Goff the Lions have the highest team total outside of like the Bears, not the Bears, the Bills.
It was the same last week. The same exact situation. No one wanted to pay up, and they should have. And I think the same is true this week. You're going to want to pay up above that lower mid-tier range at quarterback with Allen, Goff, guys like that.
Even if you don't do that, and let's see how much value we can discover along the way. I think there is a lot of value this week with Patrick Taylor and some other like Amir Abdullah types. If we want to get crazy, there's some wide receivers, not a lot, but there is some value. And I'm getting into. I had a real long thought about like late season DFS actually, and I want to talk to you, Burns, about a little bit as well, just like Millie Maker shit and how salaries kind of become much more right by the time we're in week 16. And there really aren't like these 3K values generally, unless we're talking the 2-gamer with Calvin Austin, who just snuck his way in there. But yeah, I mean, you've got Jared Goff unowned, Jaden Daniels, nothing. I get the Eagles have an okay defense, like it's good, but like it ain't that good. I think this is a week where you're just going to pay down at quarterback in general. Not pay down. You're going to look for low-owned quarterbacks because why not? These guys are just as likely to put up a monster score as anybody else.
Yeah. I'll say the thing about Caleb Williams, too, is the narrative, which is just a true narrative. The Lions are just beat up on defense right now, too. So that plus the title plus the price tag is why people are starting to gravitate towards Williams a good bit.
Mm.
And last game he crushed in this spot. So
yeah, I like Caleb. Like I said, he was my first look quarterback. I also, what I love about Caleb is just I already like the wide receivers as standalone plays. Mm-hmm. Like straight up, I'm just like happy to play DJ Moore by himself. I like playing Keenan Allen on an island. If it wasn't stacked, I'd be good with it. And as soon as I start to get like more than one pass catcher from a team that I feel that way, that takes me to the quarterback. And I say, you know what, if I'm going to do this was the Aaron Rodgers thing last week. I liked Devontae Adams, but I didn't like anybody else on the Jets. So I was like, I'll just play Adams. Mm-hmm. So really weird stuff going on at the QB position. Let's dive right into the breakdown, guys. And let's, clear it. Well, I'm still looking at the 2-game slate stuff here. Let's jump over to the 3-gamer, and we'll go position by position and talk about some of our favorite plays with the knowledge of what the chalk is in mind. So let's start at the top of the salary range. The 7K and up crew. We've got 4 quarterbacks in that price zone this week: Daniels, Burrow, Hurts, and Josh Allen. And it's fine if you guys don't like it. I mean, we already talked a little bit about this, but I'll start with you, Burns. I know you're not a big pay up at quarterback guy, generally, but and we have Josh Allen, heavy favorite, non-competitive. You got Jalen Hurts in the competitive matchup, but weirdly not a high total game. And then Joe Burrow in a smash spot in terms of like his team winning, but probably a non-competitive game as well.
Yeah. For me, I don't think it's an Allen week this week. I think it's because of the fact that the game's going to be a blowout. I mean, he's gonna style in the first half, first three quarters, and then they're going to go. I think this is a James Cook week. I think James Cook is the man in this game. I think this is where this is actually going to be. All the money's on the Buffalo side is the James Cook side of the ball. I think you got to play Jalen Hurts this week. This is a divisional game. They got to win. They got to win this one, and they got to style on Daniels. I think they style, and I think that's just how it works with this type of divisional matchup where they're just going to style. They're going to tell the rookie, hey, this is how we play football, and this is how we're going to show you how to play football. And Philly's going to stop. They're going to shut down Daniels this week. Their defense is no joke this year. That's why I won't have Daniels hardly at all. Joe Burrow and company, I'll have a good bit of them. I do like them a lot. I just don't. I'm just not paying up $8,700 for Josh Allen this week. Even if I do play him naked, I'm just not going there. The opportunity cost that is associated with Josh Allen this week is too high. Even at $8,500 last week, you still had some value, but this week's value is weird. I mean, it's an interesting week this week, so I'm just not going there. I just don't think New England even puts up a game here, and I think it's James Cook week. That's how I'm going with it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm not into Burrow in a non-competitive matchup. Burrow is very formulaic. The other
he's
team
at home, and he's been mid-20s and the 30s.
At 7,500, remember, like last week, just this is the version. By the way, it was competitive last week too. It wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, but he was on the road. Tennessee was decent. I mean, they're a decent defense. They're not great. They're decent. They're on the road, but I think at home in a divisional matchup, I think he styles.
I'm gonna lean no. I'm gonna lean no to it. The only way it happens every single time, it's generally competitive. You could be right, but I'm gonna lean like I don't want to pay for him.
The matchup. I don't feel like the Browns have been tough. They've been tough against opposing offenses, tougher than people realize. That's what it is for me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, guys. Josiah, let's talk about the middle range of the QB position here, and just some of our favorites that aren't those super high price studs. You've got everybody we talked about, Jared Goff and Darnold, Purdy, Tua at home.
Yeah, it's weird. This mid, like upper 6K range. I mean, outside of Jared Goff, I'm not getting into these guys too much. Tua doesn't stand out for me. Purdy doesn't stand out for me. Don't love Stafford or Drake May. I'm really looking at the upper 5K range, guys like Geno Smith, in a matchup I think should be pretty back and forth. Two teams really trying to get a win here. And then Caleb Williams, we talked about it. I do think the Lions being banged up, highest total game on the slate, I'm always going to try and force some exposure to that. Is really Geno and Caleb are the two top quarterbacks for me on this slate that I'm really targeting.
I like it. How about you, BobbyWow?
Yeah, I think in the middle zone, I'm probably looking at Jared Goff, and then I kind of like Stafford a little bit. We talked about this game. We saw the Jets come to life offensively last week. Their defense has been nowhere near what it used to be. That pass defense looks awful, and so Stafford had his worst game I've seen in a while last week. So it's not an exciting play, but I think he can get there with both wide receivers healthy, and if Aaron Rodgers and co are playing to win. That could be an interesting spot. I will have Caleb shares, and I'll also have some shares of Geno Smith as well.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about the Goff play is it looks scary on paper because Chicago's defense is good, but then you remember Detroit's defense is banged up, and if you like Williams and you think their offense is going to score, then you expect Detroit to win this game, it's probably going to be Goff and Gibbs really kind of running things, or one of the other. And so that's why I like having exposure to a low-owned Goff.
Goff may just improve by default with Montgomery not being with the team. Montgomery, as much as he, we think of him as like he is touchdowns or bust, and he's getting a lot of touchdowns, right? Like he's this guy that gets 2 touchdowns way more than anyone else. So he's just very, very much vulturing, and Goff without him might stop, especially if the Bears are putting up resistance. That's what happened last week. The Bills were in town. They're putting up resistance, and now all of a sudden he's got to throw, and that's when it gets great. So we have that chance. But I think if I'm playing Goff, I am using pieces not just from the line. That is a game stack scenario for me. So if I'm using Goff, that's all right. If I'm using Goff, that tells me something's going on. What's going on? The game is competitive, right? Because Goff is not going to style out there if the game's not competitive. He's just going to go out, relax, hand it to Jameer, end the game. But if it's competitive, that means we're playing Goff. We can stack him up with whoever we want from that team, even Gibbs, but also bring it back with a piece or two from the Bears, get the full game stack going. Give me some DJ Moore in that lineup, or Keenan Allen or something like that.
I do think we need to be a little bit cautious with the competitive narrative. I think that's overrated. We saw Josh Allen put up 35 points against the Jaguars earlier this season. Jared Goff against the Jaguars put up 38 fantasy points in a 52-6 game. So part of why these games get to be blowouts is because the people put up stats to get there too. So I don't want to totally rule out, even if the Bears aren't competitive, we could still see a good game from Goff.
That's fair. Scrolling on down, we have some bottom. A lot of these names are chalky, but the big ones are the rookie Penix, Anthony Richardson, the highest owned guy on the slate. That's about it, right? And then everybody else. So let's go around here, guys. I just wanted your takes on Richardson, Penix in terms of playability, and is there any other sort of super cheap sub, price below Caleb or price below Richardson guy that you have any interest in at all? Burns.
I mean, I think you have to play Penix this week. He's at home. He's favored. The Giants suck. They're in tank mode. Ever since, they got rid of, Danny Dimes. So I don't know. This Penix is such a weird play because of the fact that, he's being thrusted into this, it's just not a good environment down there in Atlanta right now. They paid a boatload of money to Kirk Cousins and then they bench him. It's just weird. He's 4,500. I typically don't play 4K quarterbacks. It's really not been a thing this year outside of maybe a few occurrences, one with Gardner Minshew and the other with Bryce Young. He's a rookie. I think he's going to go out and he's going to actually have some issues in this game. Because he is a rookie and it's his first time actually starting a game. I'm not going to be high on him like a lot of people will be. I think his ownership will push about 15 to 20% this week simply because of his 4,500 salary on DraftKings. It just makes it easier to build around him. But there are guys in the 5K range that are significantly better. Matt Stafford's a significantly better quarterback to play. He's got Puka Nacua, who is in an awesome spot this week. You also got, I'm not on Richardson this week. I don't see the ownership there. I think it's going to be a bad matchup for him. But a guy that I'm going to go back up into the 6K range, and I'm going to go in the mid sixes, and I think everybody's going to overlook him. And I'm really glad that they will, because I'm going to load up on him. It's Sam Darnold going on the road to Seattle.
Yes, he will not.
I really think people are overlooking this guy again. And I like Justin Jefferson, I like Addison, and I like Hawkinson in this game. So I will have plenty of Sam Darnold this week. So I think this matchup for him is a good matchup. So I really don't think this is a bad matchup. And Minnesota's got to win. They got to win out. So I really like it here. I'm not on Aaron Jones this week. I know there's a lot of people that are going to be on Aaron Jones this week. I don't see it. I mean, he'll be in my player pool, but I'm not going to be pushing it. And I think it's a JJ and Addison and Hawkinson with Darnold. I like those options, so that's where I'm going to be.
Samwise. All right. Well, he's low owned, so can't
Well,
go wrong there. On the road, who knows? Josiah in the cheap zone here. Richardson and below. Anybody popping for you?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for these cheap plays. I love what my lines look like when I take these kind of shots, but I agree with Burns. I don't love the matchup. It's tough against these Giants here. Rookie quarterback, never excited about that. But at 4,500, he's not super chalk. I mean, 10%'s a little high, but we've seen worse. I'm willing to go slightly above the field on him, and then I can get creative in my own ways. And then even guys like Drake London paired with him and Mooney or just, I don't know. I like the matchup for Mooney, so that's one of the matchups that I'm forcing in there with Penix to try and get a little bit different there.
I like it. BobbyWow, you got anybody in the cheap zone? Are you on the Richardson chalk? Are you down?
No, I think the only guy that I'll be playing below Caleb, and it won't be a ton, is DTR. His rushing upside against a Bengals team that has been really bad against quarterbacks, outside of they just played the Titans and Cowboys, but gave up 30 points to Russ, 30 points to Herbert, 40 points to Lamar, mobile quarterbacks especially. I think DTR has the rushing ability to put up a decent score here. And so, that to me is safer than Michael Penix Jr., who pocket quarterback, honestly struggled coming his last season at college. I mean, he was looked rough, and he's got no scrambling ability whatsoever. So I'll have some DTR exposure as a pivot off of the chalky Michael Penix.
Yeah, and I think, Geek, you mentioned some guys too, like AOC is super viable down here against a really bad Jaguars defense who we've seen bad quarterbacks crush. I think he's very viable too. And even Mason Rudolph is someone I haven't taken out of my quarterback pool yet in a relatively soft matchup against the Colts, but it does make me nervous.
Little AOC action. I think so too, Josiah.
Yeah,
I'm with it. I actually think the play might be AOC.
Weapons are great.
This is the Jaguars. They stink.
He's at home. That makes it even better.
I already kind of like Bowers, right? I already kind of like Jacoby. Why not throw a little AOC in the mix?
Yeah.
AO sizzles. Nothing wrong with that. Mac Jones the same. I know they're turds. Mac Jones has not been completely terrible.
True.
We're going to name everyone now? Like, this is crazy. We're naming all the crappiest quarterbacks on the planet here.
What I'm saying is, and those are not names that
we're not ruling out Mason Rudolph and Mac Jones. And
I'm only playing
play everyone, guys. Play everyone.
I'm only playing 8.
Got to play the plays. I'm just trying to go down the list of ownership, because why should I just play the 14% owned Penix when there's the same guy basically at 1% ownership that actually probably has just as much upside? And by the way, your DTR play is the same. I'm fine with it, BobbyWow. Like, it's a bad defense. I just, he stinks too. Like, let's not fool ourselves. These guys are not very good.
He's a running quarterback. That's the thing with him.
Who's that?
Him. DTR is a running quarterback. That's what separates him. AOC has had one game over 25 in his career, or 20, that has even come close to 20 points, and it was a fluke against the Chiefs. Every other game, he's been atrocious.
Can I tell you that I really actually just wanted to put the picture up that I had that all queued up?
I don't know, because I don't know about that.
I mean, the one thing I'll say is DTR is rushing, but he hasn't really been rushing that much in the NFL. He does have the upside for it, though, so I don't think you're wrong.
He stinks, guys. He's so bad.
He's not. Yeah,
we have experience with this guy starting. All these guys have played a lot of games before, and they all suck. So I don't know. I think maybe the move here is let's, like I said, scroll down here and actually pick good quarterbacks that are getting no ownership, and they have enough of them
Yeah. The thing about DTR, though, is the matchup against the Bengals. They've been god-awful, so he has a little bit more upside there, too.
Yeah, that's fair. And actually, like you said, even though Levis turned it over a bunch of times last week, they were moving the football, no problem, against the Bengals the whole day.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to the running back position. But real quick, I have to mention this. I put up an announcement in DFS Army Discord, and I got to give props to the DFS Army player props team. Guys, these guys are up week after week, month after month. What is the DFS Army player props team? They're giving out tickets, very specific. It's like if we were doing DFS and we were just handing you lineups and you just copied them and put them in, right? We don't do that in DFS, but in player props, you can do that. They just hand you lineups for prize picks, sleeper, underdog, better, and all these other things.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Kevin. I'm laughing at the guy.
Brandon playing Jameis in the lineup. Just yeah, I like that actually. I think he could come in. These guys have been getting it done week after week, month after month, year after year. We track everything, and last 3 days alone, they're up 100% ROI, 1,500 entries, 2,900 profit. Over the course of the last 30 days, 13K entries, 2,500 in winnings. Year to date, they are up $19,374 for a solid 13% ROI on the year. And that actually continues out all time, which is 2 full years at 13% ROI. This is as long of a record of winning as you're ever going to see. We've added more to our Proptimizer tools this month. We've added underdog. We've added parlay play. And otherwise, I haven't even heard of them. So many DFS prop games and more are coming. All you have to do is even ask. So the player prop sub is currently $35 a month. You just go to DFS Army, get signed up for it, $35 a month. It is going to $49.99 on January 1st. These guys are too good. They've been crushing it. And quite honestly, the more people that are tailing these picks, the faster they're going to disappear when Will Lynn or Sniper give one out. So we are raising the price mainly, though, to cover the cost of the Proptimizer tool and expanding it and making it as awesome as it is. We have amazing. It's just so easy to use it. You have to see it. I can't waste the time here going over it, but I'm just saying the Proptimizer gives you the plays. It sorts out. You know what? I will show you real quick. When you click on the Proptimizer, it is a fast thing. Where are the odds to hit? Oh, it's right there. Alex Caruso, under 6.5 points. 66% implied odds. Where does that number come from? Well, you can bet it. If you think that he has a higher chance of going over or under, you can bet it. So you can bet that, under 6.5, it's minus 150. That translates to whatever that is. So I don't know. 66.67 implied odds to hit. You put that in your ticket. Go to the next one. Mitchell Evans, tight end. I don't know what this is, but you get the idea. The plays are right here. It tells you the odds to hit right on the side based on the project. The Prize Picks actually works off of sportsbook projections. So it is just comparing. It's a market-based system that compares the Prize Picks lines to consensus lines on Sharp Sportsbooks. We have a Sharp Sportsbook line, meaning we filter out sportsbooks that follow and only use leader sportsbooks that like Circa, Pinnacle, and actually FanDuel is a leader sportsbook. Not a lot of people know that. That works differently than the underdog one, which I believe is driven by projections. So an underdog, actually, no, that is also driven by consensus odds here. So underdog, Jake Neighbors, look at this one. Under 0.5 goals. That's actually got an 80% shot at hitting. You add that to your ticket. And the best part is it's Sniper and Will Lynn putting these together, consolidating them, and giving you tickets all throughout the day. I don't know what more I could say. I mean, these are tracked plays, and they're spectacular. I honestly have the results speak for themselves. Every single play is tracked. If you're a DFS Army VIP subscriber, you've had access to this as part of your VIP package. We didn't want to, when we first launched the tools in the package, we wanted everybody to get a chance to feel it, taste it. That is going away as of December 31st. This is a standalone package. Will Lynn and Sniper deserve the props, and they deserve to get paid for all the work and effort they put in. And our members should have no issue up 30,000 over 2 years, 15,000 a year, paying $35 or even $49.99 a month for a subscription where betting $10s and $20 picks. And these are $10 and $20 tickets. We're not talking, they're not betting thousands of dollars in one shot. These are $20, $20, $10, $10. They're spectacular. It's super fun to follow along. Get signed up, dfsarmy.com, player props. Do it now. Price is going up. Code Geek gets 10% off even that 35 level. That's what you want to do. You will lock in, and it will never change. On January 1st, don't say I didn't warn you, that is going to $49.99, and it will be gone. Why is it expensive to run the Proptimizer? Dick's Insider, there are millions, not thousands, millions of calculations happening on the screen simultaneous as you see that. My Amazon Web Services bill is through the roof. Calculations are happening, and that's real time quotes. How many of those props do you tend to parlay at a time? They just give it to you in the parlays. They're not giving you the plays. They're giving you the full ticket parlay. Look, I'm sorry you can't see it here. You could click it, but this was a parlay. This top one here, it's a Prize Picks play, and it's McConkey over 43 receiving yards, which already hit, and Hartenstein. Oh, this is a winner. Yeah, Hartenstein less than 7.5 second half points, whatever it is. They give you the full ticket. You don't have to really think at all. You just follow along. And if you play Prize Picks, you just follow along. Play the exact ticket. Underdog, follow along. Play the ticket. They also do sportsbook plays. So if you just have a sportsbook in your city and you don't play the DFS sites or parlays, they give out sportsbook, just straight bets as well. Everything is part of this. Will Lynn is a mad genius, basically. He is. He's like a professor of proptomology. He's a proptologist. All right. That's enough of that. It's a great deal, by the way. It's awesome. If you just want to kind of follow along, hey, I like betting, make money. Like I said, you don't have to handicap these. The Proptimizer tool lets you handicap. You can look through it, get all the data, make your own decisions. But Will and Sniper are literally giving out these plays, and they're winning at the 13%. They're beating the odds for 2 years running. I don't know what more anybody could ask for. You sign up, you follow along with them. You're not gonna quit because you're like, holy shit, this is printing cash, and I love making money. All right, let's move on. I had to make the announcement because if I don't, then everybody's like, hey, how come I don't have the prop sub anymore? I'm like, guys, you've had it for a while. I've been saying it on the shows. Now I know that you didn't watch the show, and then I don't like you. That's how I judge people.
Good way to judge.
You get gummies. You get a little bag of gummies with every subscription. A little gummy bag to help you with your prop plays.
Not
no,
true.
you don't get any gummies. No.
Not true.
All right. Where were we? All right. Let's move on, guys. Running back position. And let us sort the optimizer by ownership projection and see who shows up. And, Chalky Chuba rears his ugly head again there, BobbyWow. There he is.
Every week.
Why? Top of the list, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he should be lock buttoned into every lineup you make this week. Jahmyr Gibbs is Christian McCaffrey when Montgomery's not there.
Yep.
He's vintage Panthers McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
Josiah, I love that you're nodding. 100% on board.
So true.
Yeah, you just lock button that. That's every lineup we're gonna make is what we're gonna make.
Yep.
We're gonna make them with him. Chase Brown, awesome. This guy's getting 30 touches a game. So second highest owned for good reason. I don't have any. I'm not fading that. I like him. Chalky Chuba, that's a little weird, but James Conner, yeah, also. Trey Benson is out this week, and we get just James. Great spot. It's against the Panthers. Josiah, I want to comment from you about why the Panthers are the team to attack with opposing running backs. I like the chalk here.
What do you mean? Why? I don't. Why does it matter? We just know to play these running backs against the Panthers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Watching it is frustrating. I can blame every defensive player at this point on that team, but I try to avoid thinking about it, and I just play it. So I can be happy when Rico Dowell does well, and I can be happy when James Conner scores because he's in my DFS lines.
There it is. That's right. And then, of course, we have the Patrick Taylor news, and he's not showing up yet here. But actually, I'm looking through the chalk. I don't have any I don't have any real issues with it. As I think Patrick Taylor will rise up a little bit in the ownership. He's showing 10%. I think that might. You know what? The problem with Patrick Taylor is they priced him up at 5,200 on DraftKings. Like they preempted his. There's no value in that.
There's definitely some value still. 5,200. Yeah, that's cheap enough. That's pretty cheap.
I don't know. I feel like I would have loved a 4K Patrick Taylor
for sure, but now he won't be chalky. That's the trade-off.
This will keep the ownership low. So yeah, I kind of like the chalk. Like I like to pull up the chalk on the show and be like, what the fuck is people thinking? I don't have any problem with any of this outside of maybe like I don't. Chuba's an underdog, coming off that mid spot. I don't know if I like that one, but I think you got Gibbs, Brown. Gibbs, Brown, and Connor are my three top plays. So this just coincides with what I like already at running back. That's the price. So 5,200 on FanDuel. So it'll be a fun one on FanDuel to roll some Patrick Taylor out there, and that'll help you afford some stuff. What about? Let's get into it, guys. Running back seems fairly straightforward to me. So I'll start with you, BobbyWow. Here, we see who the chalk is, right? You got Gibbs and Brown, chalk. HN high owned, Connor chalky, right? All for good reason. You mentioned James Cook, but from the sort of expensive 65 and up crew here, let me know. Give me your overview on this group.
I think you nailed it down for the most part. I think James Conner is going to be a core running back for me. He's been really good, finally, for 2 weeks in a row, coming into an even better matchup this week. So I love the Terminator. Chase Brown is solid. Matchup is a little scarier at that price. But again, if you're going to be getting 25, 30 touches, that overcomes matchups oftentimes. So firmly in play, Chase. And then the low owned guy that I'll have a bunch of, probably try to 3x the field, is Saquon Barkley. I think, Saquon's come down in price a little bit, unless I'm thinking of FanDuel.
No, he's down
9K. He was 9K a couple weeks ago. Look, Jalen Hurts in a great spot, but Saquon's in a great spot too. I think this could easily be a Saquon game. So I'm gonna be high on Saquon, probably close to the 25% range this week. I just think, man, that he can do some damage against this Washington team, and he's going to be way under owned at this price.
I agree. Josiah, anything to add to what Bobby just said?
Gibbs is all in for me. That's the only
Gibbs
thing
is all in. Everyone.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add here besides really just emphasizing the point I had at the quarterback position. There's not a ton of super obvious value, especially at the running back position, because these pay up options are in really good spots. That's why I'm trying to take some risk on trying to find some sort of value where I can. And I agree with everything Bobby said, that I don't disagree with anything.
Yeah, not much get cute value. I think it's interesting that Chase Brown and Barkley are almost the same price. It's gotten to the point where they're really close.
Yeah, and Burns is going to talk more about Cook, but I like that play as well.
Nice. Burns, yeah. How about you? What's your take on this upper tier running back group?
Yeah, it's a very interesting slate that we've been presented with on the upper side. I agree 100% with it. Each and every one of those plays. Jahmyr Gibbs is a vital play this week. At 7,500, I actually like him probably the best of any running back in terms of matchup. We saw what he did with a 2 running back head against Chicago at home on Thanksgiving Day. Now just imagine Montgomery's out, and what do we get with Jahmyr Gibbs? I mean, it's a really good play here. There are some really good plays in the upper tier. I think a couple of plays that could go overlooked. Bijan Robinson with a rookie quarterback. He's 8,100. I think people are going to overlook him considerably. And I get it. I understand he's 8,100. It's the highest price tag he's been all year. And it's but he's getting some ownership. He's getting about 13% ownership. But he's in a great spot too. I really like James Cook this week. I think in and around about 7K, you're seeing a guy that is probably going to get the bulk of the carries in this game. I get it. There was a guy that came in and whatever the hell his name was, that's not going to be a thing this week. Don't worry about it. Buffalo does gimmicky stuff, but when it comes to Buffalo playing at home, this is your dude, man. This guy right here is your dude at home. So James Cook is going to be – he could see multiple touchdowns through the air from Josh Allen. New England ranks 28th against pass-catching running backs. They're 25th in the average fantasy points against the position. I don't give a shit about Ray Davis, Dick's Insider. So James Cook, this is the dude, man, in this offense this week. Play Josh Allen at 8,700 and watch your money evaporate. I think you got to play him. You got to play. I think Jonathan Taylor's in a great matchup here. We've targeted Tennessee with running backs in the past. Indianapolis is at home. He's in the 6Ks now. I really like Jonathan Taylor as well. He's in a great matchup too, especially because he's facing the 32nd ranked defense against pass catching running backs, and Jonathan Taylor is a beast as a pass catching running back. And I think he's going to go really low owned. I don't think he may not even he may get to 15% if that. So
he's not Jonathan Taylor is not going to be 15% owned.
No I mean, way. If he gets there, he gets there. But this could be a really good play right here in the sixes. I think in the sixes, you got some really good plays. So Jonathan Taylor is a really good play. I think another guy that's a really good play in the same game is Tony Pollard. Nobody's even talking about Tony Pollard. This guy is like going to go really low owned. I mean, he's at 6K. He's at 6% ownership right now.
Nope.
So these are the guys like Tony Pollard has actually been in winning Millie Maker lineups multiple times this year, if not top 20 Millie Maker lineups. This dude gets it done on a week-to-week basis against bad defenses. And
too much.
Indianapolis is not a good defense against the run. They're 27th ranked against the position and average fantasy points against the position. So, this is what you need to look for. And these are guys that are going really low owned. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and there's guys in the 5Ks.
Well, we'll go through them all. I'm not a big fan of Tony Pollard. I saw a breakout for Tajay Spears last week. He looked good, and I don't think you're going to see volume for Tony Pollard. You're going to regret that one. I think. I get the matchup is good. I'm telling you, it's going to be a split like it wasn't all year. Take a look at what Tajay Spears did last week. It's not a good scene. Same. Once he does that, he's now kind of secured. Like I'm going to play a lot. 27 points. He's smashed, and he's catching passes. You're at a high risk level now, messing with Tony Pollard with the other running back looking good. So that's why I would avoid him.
It's high risk, but I think you can take a shot on one or the other here, just because the matchup is so soft and they're both relatively low owned. What's
the need? There's so many good plays. You guys are right. I mean, there's amazing plays at running back. These plays, Gibbs and you wouldn't even, Gibbs and Brown, great plays, and Bijan, spectacular. Saquon is Saquon. Even Achane, who we didn't really talk about, great play. James Conner, awesome. So there are so many good, really, really great plays where I don't see any one of the plays I just said failing. I think they'll all be fine. Will they hit a 4X? Don't know. But they're all going to come in at 15, 18 fantasy points as a bad game. So there's this great high floor crew right there. And James Cook, I think Burns is your tournament guy. He's not going to be owned. No one's playing him. You're playing him. You love him. That's great. He's not going to be owned. You will have super uniqueness just playing James Cook. You play Jonathan Taylor. That is completely a zero owned. So did that dude drop the ball last week? I have him on a freaking fantasy team. And you know what happened? I didn't make the second round because this asshole dropped the ball. I'm not going to forgive that. Burns, you forgave that? Did he not knock you out of a play? You probably didn't. You don't have
you forgive JMO every week. So
yeah, because JMO comes back the next week and lights him up.
No, he doesn't.
Plus, have you seen JMO? He's so funny. That guy's awesome. Like, even when he's talking, he's just hilarious. Everything he says is hilarious. Like, every time the guy's speaking, I'm just smiling because the guy's funny as hell. He says crazy shit. He reminds me, he's the Derek Lewis of the NFL. Derek Lewis put out a tweet today. He's like, if anybody's lonely and going to be by themselves on Christmas, let me know because I need some extra chairs at my house. And you don't need them. I got a bunch of people coming over, so I need to borrow some chairs. Oh, I love Derek Lewis. That's what JMO is, but the NFL version of it. Like, he's hilarious. Every time he speaks, it's funny. He's got a great personality. Love that dude. I would take him as the Jets quarterback all day, and I would rekindle my Jets love. Just having fun watching that. I wouldn't care if we won.
What is going on?
Yeah, I would if the Giants traded for him or signed him in the free agency, I would probably become a Bills fan.
He doesn't belong on the Giants. They're corporate. The Jets are a ragtag crew. We're like the bad news bears of the NFL. We're like a ragtag crew over here.
Yeah.
We'll take JMO in there. We'll embrace that guy.
I'll pass on JMO.
Yeah, he's not. He should not be a Giant. No, it makes sense for the Jets, not the Giants.
I'll pass on him regardless.
It looks like, let's see here. It looks like Kenny Walker will be back this week. No injury designation, so the Charbonnet bandwagon ends here. There are some some pay down options. I see some mentions of Jerome Ford, who is soloing the RB position at this point with the injury to Chubb, the career ender, unfortunately. One for my homies. I don't think we'll see Chubb again in the NFL. Unfortunate, was a great player, but you don't come back from that. But there's some interesting. Yeah, no, we're not doing this.
Jeebus.
No, not doing that. But Breece Hall, I kind of have to give I got to give a nod to him. BobbyWow, when you see Breece Hall at 8K on FanDuel and then you slide over to DraftKings, you see him in 6,100. Does that raise an eyebrow for you? You're like, huh?
It does. There's 3 guys I'll drop down kind of below that 6,500 range, 7K range. One of them is Breece Hall.
Yeah, let's discuss. Who are the other ones?
I think it's Breece for me. It's Patrick Taylor for me. It will be one of the higher owned ones. 5,200 is cheap enough where he separates himself from that main pack of the field. That is value to me. So he's a guy that can catch passes. He's a strong running back. And I'll have plenty of Patrick Taylor. If the 49ers, if nothing else, have proved to us that they make running backs successful. So plenty of Patrick Taylor for me this week.
What about the Raiders situation?
Not touching it.
We're trying to make sense of that. I mean,
whoever it is, Madison's the runner. Abdullah's a pass catcher. They can't run the football. Their offensive line is too bad. And, Abdullah probably, if not for some garbage time run last week, he's probably not going to get there, in a situation like that ever again. So I'm not going to touch that spot.
Bobby, what has you on Breece? Are you worried about Davis at all?
I'm not. I think Breece was somewhat eased back in last week. He was unhealthy, came back in, and now coaches have talked all week about how he's fully good to go, no injury designation. It's just kind of interesting to me. 6,100. He's priced up on FanDuel, like Kevin said. I think he's a guy that could have a sneaky high score here. He's one of those few guys in this range that have a high ceiling if he gets the touches. But
it could just come out of nowhere. It would
guarantee the touches.
It would be really surprised. He's coming out of nowhere. Like, no one wants to play Breece Hall. Was injured, got 9 carries last week, didn't do much. That's what I think with Hall. It's just kind of sneaky. If it remains like 2-3% owned, if it starts to pop ownership, I still think he has the upside, but it's less sexy. This is how you try to win these things. Look at Patrick Taylor. So this guy was
11% on DK.
Yeah. UDFA Patrick Taylor in 2020. He's got size. He's 217 pounds. Like, he has the metrics that look like a normal size. I always look at this to see, is he slow? Is he small? Is he one of these scat back? No, he's a 6'2", 217. He's kind of got the right body size for a running back. He really hasn't played much. Looks like, no more than 30 rushing attempts in a season in his career. Hard to glean much from it at all. So he just hasn't played. He's this UDFA. He's been bouncing around the NFL, and now he's going to probably get a start.
The third guy I would play is Jerome Ford. He is in a very interesting spot. DTR loves dumping the ball off to anyone who's close. Jerome Ford could put up a big score.
That could be interesting at that point. I mean, the Bengals defense
not a throw it down the field type of quarterback by any means.
Bengals defense is not very good. Yeah, that could work. So Jerome Ford, okay, getting the full workload with that injury. Anybody else that is? I don't like Swift now with Roschon Johnson back. I don't like that scene one bit. ETN and Bigsby are kind of split. Nothing exciting there. Any interest in min salary Stoneman, Craig Reynolds on the Lions? Maybe getting some of the Montgomery touches, not all of them, but a few. Is that something that is intriguing to anybody? No.
The Bears are bad enough to make it work. It's just kind of like a why go there at this point. We've got guys at 5K that are interesting enough. It's dipping a little deep, but I think it's viable, I guess, in MME.
Yeah, it's a little bit of savings. I mean, we've seen spots like that. The Algerian is not going for 100 plus and a touchdown. That is not going to happen. No. Mr. 5 Cent, do not let this talk you off of playing Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is about to smash tomorrow. Like, you give Jahmyr 23, 24 touches instead of his usual 13 and 14. You have to increase your expectation by 30, 40%. He's hitting 20 normally. If you give him 30% more work, I think he's going to get a 25 plus. Like, that has to be what you're expecting, a 25 plus pointer from him.
But I think that's the question you got to ask is, are they going to bump up Gibbs significantly in snap counts, or is Craig Reynolds going to rotate in, more often than most people think? I don't know that Gibbs will automatically come in with like an 80 or 90% snap count here. But
it's hard to know for sure, but the coach said he's going to be the bell cow. So
I think he will. I really do. I believe Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
he does not lie. That is not his game at all. There's no sneakiness with Dan. And also, this has happened before. This is not the first time that Montgomery got hurt. And when that happened, Jahmyr Gibbs absolutely smashed for multiple games in a row. So I think, yes, I think he will. I think it's a good spot. And I think you just got to embrace it. Embrace the chalk. Enjoy it. Guys, if you're enjoying this breakdown, let us know by smashing that like button, maybe hitting a little subscribe to the channel here. It only takes a minute. When I watch these videos, I go back, I look at how many subscribers added, and when it's not a lot, I'm like, hey, did I forget to mention it, or people don't enjoy the show? It's not, if it's not entertaining, not fun, I get it. But if you like this kind of talk and having a little fun, doing a little gambling, a little gamble talk with some laughs, that's what we try to do here. All right, let's talk about the wide receivers for NFL Week 16, guys. And I've got it sorted by ownership. And this one's really different in the sense that even though you see Puka, DJ Moore, I mean, the list in a row, there's no one standing out. Like, it's 16%, 15. These are all not that chalky. Not super high owned. Deebo Samuel sneaking his way in there.
Lord have mercy.
Ooh.
How the hell did he get in there?
That's the ugly one.
Deebo stepped in. He's like, that's my spot, punk. And he just like pushed his way, bullied his way in there. Just wearing Red's chain. Took his chain right off of him. I like that chain, bro. Deebo walked right up to you. He's like, I like that chain, bro. Let me see it. You know what you want to do? Don't let him see it. If Deebo asks you to see your chain, you just turn around and run. You're just like, oh, yeah, let me get it for you. You don't say you're going to run. You're like, oh, yeah, totally, Deebo. Let me get it. Run. Gone.
You're going to outrun him?
Okay. Yeah, you're faster than Deebo.
Okay.
You got to surprise him. You need that 3-second head start, and then you're good.
Mm-hmm. I will say this point from Motown, is intriguing. I think that Debo at running back, he'll get some touches in the backfield. That is intriguing.
They haven't been using them as much back there though, so that's one thing to watch out for.
But they're running out of options.
I love
This is true.
I love that everybody got what I was talking about in the chat. It's so great. I say it all the time. This is the best live crew that you could ever ask for. I throw some shit out there that is so obscure, and everybody's like, they know exactly where it's coming from. It's great. I appreciate you guys. Yes. No real chalk here, but a lot of great plays. And Burns, you're going to love this slate because all the sexy WR plays seem to be like 5 or 6K, like in that magical GPP winning zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's all of that going. I was thinking of you when I was doing the breakdown. I was like, Burns is going to love this slate. Like I was like going through it, going name after name in the 5K range is just awesome. Yeah, I want to play Brian Thomas Jr. Fuck yeah. Yeah, I want to play DJ Moore. Yes, please. Give me more of that. Malik Neighbors is squeezing his way in there. Okay, I'll take some of that too. No problem. No Jackson Smith and Jigba. Sure, why not? Keenan Allen. A lot of good stuff there. So, but not a lot of chalk. So we can get really unique here at wide receiver without getting silly or stupid. And that is always a fun scenario. So let's get in, let's get into the wide receiver group for NFL Week 16, guys. And at the very top of the list, of course, it is the familiar names: Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Puka Nacua, AR Arsby, AJ Brown, and McLaurin. Devontae Adams had a smash game last week. Tyreek Hill with no Waddle there. The only game in town. I wish he didn't have that Q tag. Makes me concerned. And then we have some easy skips here down below. I won't be playing like a Jerry Jeudy, but starting with the top group, guys, do you have a favorite stud? BobbyWow, since you're nodding, do you have a favorite stud here? Is it Jefferson? Chase? Jefferson's like relatively cheap compared to his career numbers. Of course, you got Puka. He smashes every week. Who do you like here?
It's not Jefferson. Yeah, look, we over glamorize JJ's week last week because it was a 2-game slate. The reality is he only put up 20 points. So
yeah, it was a tough matchup.
He's hit it once. So that's it for me. He's hit a decent paying off score.
Tournament winner. He's had decent scores every week. He's had a tournament winner.
Yes, a tournament winner. Yes, he's hit season long scores a bunch of weeks, but yes, DFS wise, not so much. Could he get there? Yes, but I like Puka and I like ASB. Those will be the two guys I'm paying up for the most.
Okay, interesting. No Devontae, another 15 target affair.
Oh, I didn't know we were dropping that far down.
I'm figuring even Reek and those guys too.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I think Puka, Brown, and then Hill, probably in that order for me. I'll have some Devontae as well. He seems to have become the number one guy over Wilson, although both have looked solid. So, but it'll be primarily Puka, Brown, and then Tyreek, assuming we don't go any lower than that.
Okay. Josiah, how about you? Do you see it the same?
I'm not a big fan of Tyreek. Again, it's another situation where I think the defense is good enough to really focus in on that receiver one option. But I like a lot of the top end options on this slate. My strategy is to go really overboard on some of the mid-range receiver options on this slate. And then I'm really just kind of matching the field on a lot of these pay up options. The guy that I have leverage on though is Amon-Ra.
Arsby. Okay. Yeah. And that'll be, easy way to do that is just to tie him into your Goff and Caleb lineups and maybe not even mess with it outside of that group. Contain the nuclear damage.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of containing the nuclear damage, we got drones flying overhead here, apparently looking for nuclear. I don't know what they're looking for, but it's weird.
I was shocked you didn't bring that up last week.
I did on some of the other shows. I was okay. I was describing myself outside the house with a shotgun on the roof, waiting for him. Like, shh, bring it. Burns.
Yeah, I'm surprised
here.
I'm surprised Jamar Chase hasn't been talked about.
Yeah,
he's in a really good spot here. I get it. Cleveland's a decent defense in their secondary, but Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase, and that dude can straight up ball at wide receiver. So. I'll have plenty of him. I'll have plenty of JJ. I'll have plenty of AJ Brown as well. I like pairing him with Jalen Hurts. It's a great pairing when you can get him off of, some chalkier pairings with same salary type quarterbacks. So yeah, I just like that a lot. I like how low owned these guys are going to be. 13% on Jamar Chase is pretty low considering.
You know what it is? You know what I think is going on here, Burns? When you start to put the lineup together, you're going to see that you want to spend the monies on running backs.
Yeah, I get that. And I understand why people want to do that. So, and then it makes the lineup look interesting, right? You spend up on running backs, and just know that every puzzle needs to be put together a different way. So, the opportunity cost that you have to give up for a certain place. So, that's why I'm in agreement with Josiah here. Field weight on these guys,
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I just want to actually put this on screen so that we see what's been going on with Devontae in particular. This volume is crazy. This guy's getting double-digit targets, lock button. Basically, Aaron Rodgers and him have nothing to lose. They are lame ducks. They're having fun out there. They're besties. They're like besties. They probably have dinner during the week, and they're like, dude, I'm going to throw it to you every fucking pass. Just be ready for it.
And then have some sort of bonuses on getting touchdowns, something like that.
Yeah, and if there's any of that goes on, they will be going after it. So I like all these guys. It's fine. I like Justin Jefferson, Puka. But actually, the greater thing that I'm doing this week, and I think you guys both touched on it a little bit, is I'm not going to be paying up that much at wide receiver. I'll try to squeeze in these low 7. That's why I don't think Chase, he's hard to get to at 8,500. But when I'm like, I've got this kind of money, I'm like, all right, let me drop a defense and see if I can get like Devontae in there, or one of these guys, or even Tyreek Hill, who has that 35-point upside we haven't seen, but we know it's there and it's always waiting for us. So, yeah, I think Devontae, that volume is crazy. You can't ignore it. That would probably be my guy if I didn't have like enough to get to Puka or Justin Jefferson or one of maybe those slightly more exciting options. But we're going to see there's a lot of goodness when you get under 6K. And note that I think like this zone is almost, I didn't find it very intriguing at all. I think you can almost, this whole area here. So I'll give you guys the next group. T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, Garrett Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Cooper Donut Cup, Cup of Donuts. Cooper Cup of Donuts is his new name because he gave me a donut in week 1 of the playoffs. I don't know. I feel extra animosity when it's week 1 of the playoffs and I don't advance because you couldn't catch a pass or they didn't throw it to him.
That's pain.
I've loved Cooper for years though, so I'm not gonna hate on him, but disappointment. Drake London with the rookie. I mean, I'm not playing him outside of that rookie, and then it gets a little bit better down here, I think, with Brian Thomas Jr., who I think is a great play, and Malik Neighbors and Jackson's JSN and a couple of really good ones there. But let's shift our focus to this mid-salary pack crew that have a 6 in front of their name. And real briefly, because I don't know if you guys agree or not, BobbyWow, what's your take on this crew here?
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to give Cooper Kupp another chance. Puka's obviously been the guy, but the Jets have been so god awful in their secondary that he's earned another chance. He's earned that much from me at 6,500. So his price has come down enough to where it's not a massive risk. We're not looking for a 35 pointer from Kupp anymore. So I'm still intrigued there. I love Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas is one of probably going to be a core play for me on this.
Look at this volume. Look at it. Look, it's even better than Devontae getting 14, 12, 10. Those are all Mac Jones games.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps going up.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
No other way to put it. And then, I'll definitely have some Malik Neighbors exposure too. It's unfortunate that his quarterbacks have been subpar because I think his ceiling is significantly higher, than what he's shown this year. He's been limited by the QB, but I mean, 24 points at 6,100. That's something I would take any and every day of the week.
That was with like Nick Doyle at quarterback or whoever the hell it was last week. That
was
is
Tim Boyle really the quarterback?
It was somebody. It was like Tim Boyle or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was with garbage.
That might be the most impressive performance of the season then. Wow.
Yeah, no one noticed it because it was like Doyle or Boyle there.
It's because Locke was ruled out right before the game.
Yeah, Locke was I told you they're actively trying to lose the game.
Yeah,
the only reason Locke is playing is because Boyle was ruled out. He got hurt.
They're in full tank mode. I mean,
they wanted
they want Shador, they want Cam Ward. That's where they're going for.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
There it is. It was Tim Boyle, and he played the whole game. He completed 12 passes, all to Malik. Like, what? How does Malik have 10 receptions?
Wasn't he a Jet last season?
Yes, he was horrific. He one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play the game, and I've seen some bad ones. He's as bad as he gets. I can't believe this guy's getting like $1 million a year to have that job. So I really love Neighbors too. I think it's such a good play. These are why you don't have to pay up.
Yep.
Burns, did anything pop for you in that group that Bobby didn't mention? We move to the next category here.
How far down are we going?
Yeah, we just the sixes. We went with the sixes, JSN and Malik and all that crew, and
Yeah, I'll be playing Sam Darnold this week, so I'll have Jordan Addison in my player pool. I think with what Jordan Addison has been doing with Darnold has been nothing short of like amazing, because like he got 42 a couple weeks ago, and before that it was like 35, 36. I mean, he just has a really good rapport with Darnold. He's probably got the best rapport with Darnold than anyone else on the entire team in the passing game. So I'll definitely have a good bit of Jordan Addison because of that, because I'm going to have Darnold this week. Yeah, I'll have Jackson Smith-Njigba as run backs. And I can't believe the salary on Tyler Lockett. I mean, it's getting to the point where craziness when I saw that come out this week. But yeah,
DK's salary.
These guys are like
Lockett's
the guy I'll be playing. DK's the guy I'll be playing at 5,500.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are getting so low. I like BTJ. I love him too this week. BTJ I had him in lineups last week. I mean, I'm telling you, like 35% lineups last week, and he was paired with Devontae Adams in all of them. So, but I don't think but I think you need to have Garrett Wilson in your player pool too. Don't be Xing him out. He could actually go off in this game too. So, like Cooper Kupp is 6,500. That's crazy. I mean, he's been nesting at that 7K range for a long time of his career, and 6,500. I mean, that's crazy low for him.
I'll say it like I said it last week with this guy, and it didn't really work out last week or a couple weeks ago, but or a different guy. But with Cooper Kupp, any team facing the Jets, you want to look at that WR2, because the WR1 should be you're right. It hasn't been locked down this year. Sauce Gardner has not been special. I get it. But the narrative of the Jets was the WR2 is the guy to target. Mm-hmm. Will that work out here this week? I don't know. Why did they throw him? Why didn't he catch anything? The only thing I'll give to Cooper Kupp after last week was that the team was pretty bad overall. Like, they only scored 12 points. It was an ugly offensive game. It's the best thing I could say about it. But putting up a 0, that is brutal.
Kev, do you have the domination station ready?
Yes.
Could you pull just the props projections are interesting for some of these guys. Like, I really like the Addison play, but then I saw his prop projection. It is really atrocious.
Yeah, it's low.
It's wildly low.
You actually can't play. Look at
Justin Jefferson's prop projection, wildly low. Terry McLaurin's prop projection, low compared to the guys around him. It's just interesting here what the prop projection is saying. There's some pretty big differences with some of these guys.
Yeah, that's telling you something. And this, so what for those who don't know, what Bobby's describing is our domination station optimizer and our NFL research station. One of the things we do is we take all the props from the sharpest sports books, combine them up, mix them up, spin them up, and create a fantasy projection off of that number. And we then compare it to our sort of previously designed projection models and industry standards and everything like that. And you could get, I think it's the most accurate projection system ever conceived and in existence. So you could, when you're DFS Army subscriber, you can use this and you can build your lineups using the props, or you can prop-based projections, or our previous system, which actually was ranked number 2 overall, like the past 3 years in a row by Daily Overlay. So we have a really good projection system ourselves, but this one's no joke. And you're right. Look at the difference. So when you see these, it tells you who to get off. So like T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, nowhere near worth the price. Yeah, Malik Neighbors getting 15, where everybody else in this zone is way lower. So these guys who stand out are correct. Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, slightly less interest in JSN. Jacoby Myers coming in with a 15 all the way down here. That's interesting. That Q tag is off of Jacoby as well. As you go down in salary, you're kind of watching. Yeah, Thielen's another one that pops based on his projection, and DJ Moore. So there's a lot of good plays here, and thank you for bringing that out, BobbyWow. A really important thing to be paying attention to. I would think that, all right, Ridley doesn't have, let's see here. Yeah, Ridley's not bad. I'm surprised at how mid his projection is. A little surprising.
Because he's pretty mid.
He doesn't have a prop projection at all. We're getting the main projection. So we'll see what his props say. That's right. And then anybody else of interest? How about, Keenan Allen down here. Look at the difference. You see the number 13 and then a 7 for Amari, a 10 for him, an 8 for Roma Dunze. This tells you this guy stands out. This is like a cash game play. DK Metcalf here. So you've taken us in through this group. Bobby, do you have a favorite?
Oh, geez. I thought I gave my guys. I mean, I think, DJ Moore, if we're going in this lower range, DJ Moore is one of my favorites, along with DK Metcalf. I just think DK is way too cheap. He's gotten to the point where he's been so bad, it warrants the price. But at the same time, this guy's got 30-point upside in him somewhere. You talked about it with a couple of the other wide receivers. DK is right there too. So I'm really intrigued by DK Metcalf in tournaments.
Josiah, any favorites in this range?
Yeah, this is the range I love, along with the 6K range the guys Bobby mentioned. I like so many guys in this range. Khalil Shakir, he's the safest option for the Bills, even though there aren't any, but he's seeing no ownership in a soft matchup, so love that spot for him. Jennings is fine. I'll be around field weight. Jacoby Myers, super soft matchup. It's hard to trust AOC, but I am this week, so hopefully he comes through for us. And then we touched on DJ already. Adam Thielen, the targets will be there, especially with Leggett out. I think he's the one who will benefit the most in this spot. So he's someone I like being over the field on. And then Bobby mentioned DK, great spot. Darnell Mooney is another guy I like, but he's not seeing too much ownership. So I'm only going to be, still single digit ownership there. And then mentioned Allen already. And then Marvin Harrison's the last guy. I pretty much mentioned every guy in the 5K range, but this is where I'm going to be significantly over the field.
They're all really good. Like, there's a lot to do here. And I think the strategy this week, the most obvious approach to the slate is expensive running backs, mid-salary wide receivers, middle QB, and then figure it out with tight end and your flex. But that seems to me to be how it plays out, because, again, these guys project really well. They just project well. And when I got to pay $8,200 to get a 17, or I'm getting a 16.9 for 7,900, like $1,000 less, or I'm getting almost a 15, almost a 16 for another 1,000 less. So that is a dramatically high value in terms of paying down instead of paying up for some of these other guys. And Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Juwan Jennings, these are DJ Moore. These all have the same 35-point upside that the studs do. They might not hit it as frequently, but they don't need to, because 35 is like a 7x at this point from this level. So they don't even need to. All right, Burns, take me through the cheapies. Do you have any cheapies at wide receiver this week that are of interest at all? I'm talking under 5K.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a
Tough
really
one.
bad
It is.
range.
There are not. I'll give you the answer. There aren't that many of them. There aren't that many that really pop. Do you have a favorite?
I know all the comments are going after Coker here, but he can
like
fail.
He's got such a good projection. It's crazy.
Let's find Coker, because I do think he's
such an outlier compared to below and above him. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he's rightfully he's a good play with Leggett out. They're figuring this is the guy they're going to throw to.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he did get a touchdown last week, but it was a little fluky. But I think he's viable. I'll be slightly over the field on him, but I did have to cap my exposure to him because there's a lot of risk involved there too, with a tough matchup against the Cardinals.
But
if you're running the optimizer and he's got that 12-point projection, he's going to show up in every lineup that you build.
Yes,
he will, because if you just run it raw without anybody, like no caps on all these guys, he's going to end up 80%. But a guy that I think could actually, they're back home in this game, and a guy that I think could actually pop is Josh Downs. So he's probably a guy that I've been looking at under 5K that looks really good. So
I wouldn't play him without Richardson. I think that if you're playing him, you're playing Richardson. I don't see any. I don't get any.
He's done well as a one-off before during the course of this year.
But like Richardson's so cheap, and if this guy's doing well, that means Richardson's like throwing okay. He's not having one of his terrible games, and so I just think it's a high likelihood. I don't think it's Josh Downs' production that will drive Richardson. I think it's more like if you get competent Richardson, he's probably going to get 28.
Yeah.
Which would be enough for that salary. And competent Richardson is the only way that Josh Downs is putting up a 20 or whatever. Anyone else here? The
only thing that kind of counters that point a little bit is if there's another quarterback that exceeds that value of like Richardson scoring 20-some points.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, listen, if it was last week and Jared Goff was out there putting up a 44, then nothing else you were going to do really was going to matter if you didn't play that guy. So yeah, totally. A lot of the chats talk about Malik Washington, who still isn't like. Here you go. So his props have projected for Waddle kind of being out, and his prop projection is up to 7.5. Again, compare that to his original projection before that news at 5.4. So Malik Washington is going to pop. He's going to be a player that I think will pop in ownership too.
Yeah. The only other guy I'd mention would be, and it's a gross one, but Alan Lazard played every WR3 snap last week, got a 15% target share. So he's a 4K guy that's just waiting to mess things up.
Yeah. The only other guy I'll mention too is Demario Douglas with the Patriots. Just cheap 4,400 guy with 20-point upside. Shouldn't expect it, but he's low owned, so I like him here.
Florida's up 26-0 in the fourth quarter.
Disgusting.
Gator Nation.
Which Florida? Florida State?
No, that's UFF.
Gators.
Oh, UF is playing right now?
Yeah.
All right, we got to end the show.
It's over. The game's over. They already won.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up huge. But I did want to say, just with Josiah's Mooney call, the one thing Penix does well is put the ball up and throw it deep. So I think Mooney is, he's a guy that could be definitely tournaments for me, but he could put up a decent score with Penix chucking the ball.
Darnell is only for Penix lineups though. I'm not going to use him without Penix. When the quarterback is that same thing with Drake London. Just these are some like strategy things. I'm not playing Drake. If your quarterback costs 4,500 and you're kind of like on the expensive side, I don't see how the math works that like Drake London values against 6,500, meaning he's got to put up a 25. Drake London doesn't put up 25 if Penix is out there looking like shit. Like he gets there if Penix is playing competent football. And the same with Mooney. Mooney's not getting there if it's like if it's bad rookie quarterback play. He's getting there with good. So I just think save that for your Penix lineups. Enjoy it. No,
I think Mooney could do it at 5,400. You don't need Penix to get it. Penix not necessarily going to get there.
Oh, you need the Penix. You need the Penix for that.
I'm just gonna have Mooney.
I
But
wish I, could, I wish I
Penix
could love
too,
Penix like you.
If you drafted him as much as I did in Dynasty
there
this
we go.
offseason,
Yeah.
you would know why I'm.
Well,
why
that's fair then.
I literally have him in the DFS Army Dynasty League amongst other leagues. Like, come on. You know what's going on here. I need Penix to work out.
This is becoming a common theme here where you need guys to work out with your draft.
I do. Well, listen, playing a lot of Dynasty, I get to know the players. They're on my team. I spend years with them. Me and Russ have been together since he was a rookie. Like, I know him like the back of my hand. We've been through the ups and downs together. More downs than ups lately, in fairness, with the Russ and stuff. We've won championships together.
Is that a good
camaraderie? All right. Let's talk about tight ends for NFL Week 16. And let's take a look at who the chalk is and then go from there. So, you know that Trey McBride gets double-digit targets like every single week, right?
And no touchdowns.
Yes, and he never scores. We've talked about this week after week. Trey McBride doesn't put up tournament-winning scores.
Until this week.
Sometimes he could.
Yeah.
I will tell you another thing. Kyler Murray looks his best when he's throwing it to Trey McBride. For some reason, he can't find Marvin Harrison Jr., doesn't know where he is out there.
I mean, it's because McBride's like the only talented player out there. Harrison's been struggling to get open. Who else are their wideouts? They can't blame Kyler for all of it.
Michael Wilson and Greg Dort, like they got nothing. Yeah. It's not so much their fault. They run a really basic, I would say, unsophisticated passing offense that just is not very good. And you see it, like they're much better at running the football. They need new coaches over there. They need a new offensive coordinator. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. There's a reason why. Who's McMillan? Why is everybody talking about McMillan in the chat?
It's FanDuel. It's FanDuel Slate.
Oh yeah, on FanDuel, that's what's up. Okay. Yes. By the way, let's do a wait before we do tight end. BobbyWow.
Oh geez.
Hold on.
Yeah.
This is you and me. Let's do a FanDuel segment. Okay. There's Sunday Night Football. Who's playing?
We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas at Tampa. Tampa at Dallas. Dallas at Tampa.
No, it's Tampa at Dallas.
I believe it's Tampa at Dallas. Yes.
Tampa Dallas. So, real quick thoughts on that game, BobbyWow. It's part of the FanDuel slate. Cooper Rush.
Baker's firmly in play at zero ownership. He's somewhat pricey. He's around 8K, but that guy can put up points, and he's back. Baker's back. Evans is back. That team looks back.
Baker's bacon.
McMillan's part of that. Kate Otten.
Baker's bacon pastries.
He finds his way out of whatever crevasse he fell in. Otten will be back too. But yeah,
first of all,
it's a solid game, and Cooper Rush has been better.
He's not bad.
He's been better than I thought he would be. He's still Cooper Rush, but he found CeeDee Lamb. Those two finally connected. So it could be interesting. I think the game's projected for 48 points right now. It would be the highest total on this slate.
That game might have gotten the vaunted boner alert had it been on the main slate. You got Rico Dowdle in there getting all the touches for his team as well.
Reinvigorated CeeDee.
Yeah, CeeDee doing his thing.
No, there's some really good targets from that game, and Baker's certainly one of them.
So if you are playing the FanDuel slate, which I will be, I love the FanDuel main slate contest, and I keep seeing, by the way, DFS Army helmets on the top. So kudos to everybody who has shifted some of their attention to FanDuel, and especially in those nickel and quarter and 50-cent games that they have over there, which make it really easy to MME. So yeah, I like that game. I think the Sunday Night Football game. What's the salary for Rico Dowdle?
Rico Dowdle is 7,300.
They finally adjusted it. Still good.
He's still cheap.
Still okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not great.
Patrick Taylor's 4,800 though, for reference. Patrick
Taylor is free on that site, which, okay. Thank you. I'll take that. Okay. So We did our FanDuel supplemental right there, as we've got some feedback not to ignore FanDuel. Yeah, Hawkinson, but we could go back to Brock with AOC at the helm. Like, everybody forgot about Brock. He had the bad week last week. Go right back to it. I don't have a problem with that.
Yep.
Brenton Strange up there. He had a lot of targets. He made the first look because check out Brenton Strange. Got that strange look. 12 targets, 11 receptions. Okay, matchup based, but still 12 targets, 11 receptions. BobbyWow, talk to me.
No, there's a lot of love for Brenton Strange, and there has been the last couple of weeks. I mean,
he gets 12 targets last week, so like awesome, right?
Yeah, exactly. Last week.
You're not on that.
That's all.
You don't like it.
He's fine. He's not min-priced anymore. He's had 1 week. Literally one.
He has only had one, but I mean, he's only had 2 weeks to start.
I feel like he's getting a little chalky, is he not?
Yeah, that's why. I mean, he's up there with the chalk. He's the third highest owned guy, 10%.
Why not?
He's cheap. When you get to that price point, you'll see there's not that many other real viable options. So, all right. I like Brock Bowers, of course. And, classic Hunter Henry makes the list. Jonnu Smith never gets as chalky as he probably should be based on the 11 targets he's gotten in 3 of the last 5 games. That's a lot of targets for a tight end.
True.
Chig is popping.
Burns, even Chig is acceptable.
I guess.
Even
I like Gesicki better than Chig.
Gesicki only shines when T. Higgins is hurt.
I know, but I like him better.
T. Higgins is fine. He's healthy.
Yeah, but I like
not hurt.
Gesicki better.
He's not hurt. T. Higgins is fine. Microwave pizza. It should be like frozen pizza. First of all, there's no excuse for ever microwaving a pizza. Ever.
God, no, please.
There's no excuse for that.
I like Hawk. I mean, Hawk is in a good spot.
Let's get into it here. So let's start at the top. And Burns, talk to me. You have been the tight end whisperer for many, many years. The Shark Lab has the tight end position on lockdown. So pay up, pay down. Who do you like?
I mean, if I'm paying up, there's only one spot I'm paying up for. It's George Kittle this week. I'm not going to Trey McBride this week. I don't like his salary. His salary is absorbently high, and I don't think you can get to him. Him and Brock Bowers, I don't think you can get to him. They're really difficult to afford, especially if we like some high end quarterbacks and high end running backs. They're really difficult to get to this week. But this would make interesting builds for sure, right? George Kittle, I do like George this week on the road. I just think he's got to be a part of this offense. They're down to Debo, they're down to Jennings, Kittle, and a $5,200 running back. So Kittle's going to be a part of this. He's got to be a part of this offense this week to make them move. Other guys that are, Jonnu, he's decent, not great. I'm not going to get behind that.
Wait, do you think Jonnu could see extra targets with Waddle out? Doesn't that help him?
It does, but I just don't like the matchup. It's a tough matchup. San Francisco's pretty good against tight ends. It's a really difficult matchup. I like Laporta this week. He destroyed Chicago on Thanksgiving Day, 2 touchdowns. I could see him popping. Hawk might be the best play of them all this week, traveling out to Seattle. So, and then when you get into the 3K range could get real interesting. Brenton Strange, obviously. But Gesicki could pop off too. So the 3K range is always an interesting range. And I might even have some interest in Jordan Adkins with the potential of David Njoku out too. So,
all right. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad there. I looked at the cheap tight ends this week, and I was kind of going through them. There's nothing that really was popping. Like I think Michael Mayer. If we wanted to go all the way down, Michael Mayer continues to actually function as a tight end with Bowers really operating more as a wide receiver. So I was like, all right, if I had to be under 3K, maybe this guy. Don't like it, but it could be worse. Brenton Strange, yeah, you mentioned him, but even Chig, and I never have played Chig. Like I don't think I've ever played this guy, but when Mason Rudolph came into the game, he started peppering Chigakonkwo with targets, Burns.
yeah.
Where did that come from? I know it. BobbyWow, I agree with you. The face you're making is the face I was making when I was looking at this. And I was like, Chig finally got double-digit targets in a game? Okay. Is he going to do it again? Probably not. But maybe the new quarterback likes to throw to the tight end. I don't know. When was the last start for Mason Rudolph?
It was like week 5. Was it week 5 or 6?
It
was before they went out
when Chig was out. Is that what it was?
It was like 2 2 weeks before they went out to LA to face the Chargers.
Let me check this. Hold on. I'm intrigued by this. I want to see if this is a guy who just all right, he had 3 starts, 9, 8, and 7. So he started weeks 9, 8, and 7. Actually had good scores. By the way, look at these scores. Not too bad.
No, he's serviceable.
Maybe
right?
they're playing. Maybe I'm convincing myself right now to play a little Mace.
Yeah, he did struggle against Cincinnati though, which hurts a little bit.
That is not ideal. But he had a good game against Detroit, and they're a good team. Yeah. So I don't know. But he played weeks. He started weeks really. Yeah, he started weeks 7, 8, and 9, and then 15. So let's go. Let's compare him to the game logs for Chig and see if this is a worthwhile play. And I have a feeling it's not going to be. So 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 4, 5, and 4. Not much result.
Yeah, week 9 was the week that I was thinking of. Because week 10 they were out in LA.
Yeah, no, this is not a good scene. All right, yeah, I'm off it. I think it's Brenton Strange probably as your chalk pay down option if you're playing cash games and you want to punt the tight end. I think it's Brenton Strange. No.
Yeah, I mean,
like you're just playing. If you're just playing cash games, and I'm like, I just want to who's cheap and I can just put him in. Yeah, Gesicki, Burns. I know what you're saying. You love the matchup is good.
It's a matchup based play.
Yeah, it's just the matchup is good. I know you. Yeah, so that's fine. But he does. The problem is it's not just matchups in football. Sometimes it's just like what the coaches call. They just don't call plays to him. They should more. He's been great out there. When he has those pop games, he wins you the tournament. Like I think he had some tournament winners this year. Yeah, I mean this guy put up a tourney winner in week 9.
Well, Atkins had 4 targets last week against Kansas City, who's a much better defense.
That was Jamo.
Cincinnati.
That was Jamo. He can complete.
I think 2 of them came from DTR in the 4th quarter.
Oh, did they?
I mean, that was against Kansas City, a better defense than Cincinnati.
See, BobbyWow doesn't have as much of these concerns because on FanDuel, the tight ends are priced really differently.
Yeah,
like you don't have to play a guy like Akins or even Strange because like Ferguson, who I think is just a better tight end, is right there, same price. Is that right, Bobby?
I mean, yeah, Hunter Henry is dirt cheap over there. There's some cheapies for sure.
Yeah. And Njoku might play, by the way. So I don't think that's he's questionable. He's not practiced, so probably won't see him.
I'm surprised Burns didn't mention Belly.
Oh yeah, I looked at him, but I don't know. I
got 7 targets with Locke 2 weeks ago.
I know, and I thought about that too. I was almost on him last week as well, and then they had Tommy Cutlets play, and I was like, yeah, no.
He's the silly Millie punt.
Yeah, he is.
But that's it.
He's your 2,900. I can't get to any other tight end type play, right?
Even the gummies didn't get me over onto Bellinger.
That's how you know it's bad.
Yeah, like I even that I didn't get that far down the list. Pretty great. I think it's Mayer. Why are we not? This guy was not bad. He's getting. Look at the snap counts. Yeah, last week was freaking turd quarterback, but before that, 9 targets. I don't know. I mean, he's not great, but like it was more. This for me was just from the matchups. So let's just see what happened last week there. If I can find it. Yeah, here we go. So Myers, 77. Even last week with that crapola score, look at
that's Jacoby.
No, wait, that's the wrong Myers. Mayer. Okay, no, okay, I'm wrong. So 45% snaps.
It's Belly for me over him if I'm getting silly.
Yeah. I don't like that.
No, I think you need to stay in the fours.
Numbers. No, I don't know what his numbers were. It's not. It's empty. It's blank.
I think you can just stay in the fours this week and be fine.
Yeah, I agree.
At tight end, I think in the fours, like you got Laporta, you got Hawk. I mean, there's some really good tight ends in the fours. So
agreed.
Don't need to drop that low. Let's jump. Let's look at the fours. So, Laporta 4,700, Hawk. Those are your two. I feel like Kincaid, I can't get there anymore. And actually, Hunter Henry's just all right. He's fine. Kincaid, I don't know.
Just to absolve you, Kevin, Mayer did have a 70% snap count last week.
He did. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It was blank there. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? Yeah. He's getting a lot of snaps. So that's kind of what I meant. It's not like I think this is some great play. It's just like, I think it's almost sneaky because the field doesn't realize we think of him as a TE2 and doesn't make the field. He's actually he's basically a full-time tight end with the other tight end playing more of a slot wide receiver type of role. It's just not the normal situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like Laporta. I think there are enough names here. And I think the salaries, the way they'll come together, we'll see if we need the super turd. Any other thoughts on the tight end position, or we can move on and talk some defenses. Here we go. All right, let's finish it up with defenses. And as always, Burns, take us through it.
Yeah, defenses are going to be interesting this week. We really only have like 5 home favorites on the entire slate. So favorites are where the top winning Millie Maker lineup has rested their
we want
salary on for defense. Yeah, whether it be away or home, but home is the preferred. And for home favorites, you can rest all your morals right on top of Buffalo at 3,600. I mean, they're in the most incredible spot with New England coming into town. This is just setting up for them as a really good spot, but that's an extremely high salary defense that could falter. So, but they're the highest metric based on my entire model. So it's them, and then I go to Cincinnati. I really like Cincinnati this week at home. Additionally, Indianapolis is in a viable spot. Like Mason Rudolph is a much better play as a quarterback than Will Levis, but he's still a backup quarterback. So don't mind Indianapolis there either. I mean, they were in the top 20 Millie Maker lineups last week, used multiple times in that. Some people think that the Vegas Raiders are in play too with Jacksonville coming into town. Could see that a little bit. They're starting to see some ownership though. So I'm not really that high on them. Away favorites, I think San Francisco's in a really good spot here. Traveling to Miami, they could actually produce quite a good score.
Cheap.
Yeah, 2,800. They're really low. A home underdog. If you really want to get into the underdog situation, Seattle's always interesting at 2,800. So yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold, has a propensity to throw picks. So, those are some some of them, but the rest of them will be in my cheat sheets.
There we go. I'm going to throw out some names of defenses for you guys to ridicule here.
G-Men.
Yes, why not play the Giants against the rookie?
I have very heavy exposure to the Giants.
Nice.
Bobby saw it coming.
That's what I wanted to hear, BobbyWow. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
I'm shocked they're not higher. They're not higher on than
That
this.
has to change, right? Yeah.
Got to play the Giants. Play the Giants. Play the Giants.
I can't believe it.
I refuse to believe it. There's no way people aren't going to play the cheap defense against a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, like unowned Giants defense. Let's see if they're. I didn't. I haven't looked at ownership. Let's see.
That has to
They're
change.
2%.
Yeah, unowned. Okay.
That's crazy.
Instead, they're taking the Bears against the Lions, a team that's that good offensively. Okay.
The Patriots against the Bills?
What?
You got to be bleeping me.
I would rather play the Browns over the Bears or Patriots even.
Dude.
Burrow turns the ball over a lot. He fumbles, interceptions.
Yeah, you could. That's right. Well, the Browns are not even. Wait, are they even cheap? No, that's the Bengals. Yeah, the Browns are cheap. Yeah, I think I'd rather play the Browns there than the Patriots on the road.
I don't get that.
No, play the Giants over them. Play the Browns over them. So that one's weird. Yeah, ownership's always crazy at I don't even like looking at ownerships. I just like looking at the ones that I like and ignoring that because that just messes you up. Yeah, Giants, fine, right? I've got the Titans. Why not the Titans? Yeah. What does Andy Richardson do? He's either going to have a great game or he's turning it over 2 or 3 times. One or the other.
Yeah, I never think it's a bad strategy attacking some of these low-owned defenses when the quarterback is very chalky, just because so many people won't have exposure to these defenses in good spots because of how chalky those quarterbacks are. And that's probably why the Giants are so low-owned.
This is what because everybody's playing Penix. This is what we said last week. I'm telling you, they ripped me for it. Last week, everybody was going to play Will Levis. I said the best thing to do here is play Bengals defense, right? Because Will Levis threw 4 interceptions as he does.
All the favorites. Look at last week's slate. All the favorites crushed.
Yeah. We take the favorites, the Burns special.
It was incredible. Like all of them were like high double digits. It was like mid-teens to low 20s. It was crazy.
Yeah. I'll take that all day. Who do you think would be the actual like cash? I think it's for me, I'd play the Giants in cash games. Pay all the way down, pay the Giants. But who's like the chalky, I guess, let's call it SE play that's not the Giants, that like looks really good, that people will be on?
Well, right now it looks like from an ownership perspective, the Patriots.
No, I mean that's a punt. Like that's not people playing the Patriots think they're going to score well. That's literally people who are just like, they're the cheapest. Yeah. I'll just put that in there and move on.
Yeah, Bengals are 7%.
Yep.
San Francisco 6.19%.
Yeah, nothing's going high on. Yeah, and I agree with you, Burns. I think like initially the Bills are probably the best play. I'm not playing the Falcons at the most expensive against Drew Lock. Drew Lock's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not touching the Falcons.
You could play some Lions though. Sorry, Bobby, but you can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cardinals are playable. Sorry, Josiah.
No,
but even the Rams are playable. Sorry, Kevin. Who cares who we're fans of? These are playable defenses too.
Yes.
All right. I like it. All right, guys.
I got one question that I'm dying to know the answer to. Final question. Is it or is it not okay to roster Amari Cooper this week? I need permission because I have to go back. But
you want more pain? You're going back for more?
That's like if he does end up exploding, it'll be more pain.
You ever see that video? The video of like the person who's trying to figure out if it's an electric fence and they keep touching it. And then all of a sudden they're like, see, it's no big deal. And then they grab it. Like, why did you go back? Didn't you feel it the first time? What are you doing? I don't know. Yeah, it's probably okay. He's going to be 0 owned, but I think he's unplayable. That guy, it's over. It's over.
I agree. He looks so bad out there. I can't even. Yeah,
He's just not getting enough snaps. They're not featuring him. It's a showdown turd. I think that's a showdown turd play. Probably not a main slate. It's not needed on the main. Like, let's put it like this. Even if you're right, you're probably going to be wrong. Like, okay, all of a sudden he's back in the mix and he gets 8 targets and catches 6 balls and he puts up a 16. You're like, oh my gosh, that's shocking. But at the same time, you still didn't win because Adam Thielen, priced like $100 above him, puts up a 26. Or any of the other, like, there's so many good quarterbacks priced around 5K.
Receivers.
So many good wide receivers priced around 5K. I don't think it's like going to gain you that much.
That's all I need to know. Thank you.
I don't even think he's washed. By the way, I don't think he's like a washed player. I
he's
don't know what's going on.
He's on my DNR list. Do not roster.
Yeah.
He's
after last week.
It was so bad.
Holy shit.
I only needed 1 catch. It would have been thousands of dollars different.
Holy shit.
No, actually, I think he'll be fine in the playoffs. I don't know why. That's just the narrative I have going on in my head.
Yeah,
he'll be fine there. But
guys, just a little bit of housekeeping in terms of what we have going on in DFS Army. So yes, we will do a Players Club tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out a good time to do it. It's going to have to be overlapping a game. So I'm going to look at the games and try to figure out, like, all right, what's a good time for this? Maybe after the start of the 1 o'clock game. I'm definitely not doing it before a lock. So maybe once the 1 o'clock game starts, we'll do it then. I hate to have anything we do overlap a football game. I promise you, but I just don't see any other way of timing this out. So it's just got to be that way. I've already done 3 hours worth of videos today alone. So I'm not able to like do another big one here. So it's got to be tomorrow. We'll call it. I'll overlap the first game tomorrow for Players Club. We'll put together some lineups for Sunday. We'll build some multiplier lineups. We also have another big slate coming up for Christmas next week. We've got Monday Night Football on Monday night. A lot of DFS action. If you are watching this and you're not signed up at DFS Army, I don't know when would be a better time to even just check it out, because you've got endless NFL slates happening. Like almost every single day. We're going to roll this into the playoffs. We're still going to be going strong. There's still a lot of football to be played and a lot of great slates to be crushing. We had members winning. We had another NBA takedown last night. Longtime member. Shit, I can't even remember whose name it was on there.
Had a few 10K takedowns. That was sweet.
Yeah, some 10K takedowns in NBA. So the NBA team's doing great. Josiah's on there. Leading the way with the rest of the NBA crew. So
Dubs, Madness, Uppers, ton of great coaches in there crushing it.
Awesome stuff. So we have a lot going on here, DFS Army, this time of year. The 12, I don't have a joke for it, but we have a ton going on here. We want to get you signed up. So come check it out. Check out DFS Army. Check out the prop sub if you want. And Shark Lab show tomorrow night, Burns?
Tomorrow's really tough, guys.
Yeah, it's the season.
Ohio State plays in the playoff game tomorrow, so that's extremely difficult for me to run it tomorrow. But I'm going to try to run it in the early. Tomorrow's such a screwed up day for me. If I may be able to run it early morning, like mid morning, then I know that sucks for everybody, but.
It is what it is. Yeah, Saturday's rough. Listen, they're throwing slates on Saturdays. They're throwing wrenches at us over here, so we got to figure that stuff out.
I would just say let's cancel it for this week. We'll just crush it on the pre-lock show on Sunday with Josiah and I and Raz and Tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to figure out why you're microwaving pizzas all the time, BobbyWow. What's up with that? They don't belong in the microwave.
He doesn't.
I don't microwave pizzas. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Microwaving up a pizza.
He's not a psychopath.
Yeah. No. Oh, that was a comment that somebody, and you were like,
meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Oh,
no, you can't microwave. Absolutely not.
All right. We all know that.
Frozen pizza, though, is the way to go. You just got to put it in the oven. No, give me some Jax. Oh, Jax.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, the Jax is so good. My God. Thin crust Jax.
I figured out a technique for warming up a cold pizza. Okay. I worked on this for years. No, you need a toaster oven. And what you do is you make a little hood on there with some tinfoil, right? So you kind of form a hood on it. And then what happens is, instead of burning the cheese before the bottom gets crispy, the heat that comes from the bottom, it blocks the heat from the top. The bottom heat's coming up, it's crisping up the bread, and a little bit escapes into the tent, and that melts the cheese at a slower pace.
That sounds like it's a soggy pizza coming out.
No, it's the opposite. It's extra crispy because it's crisping
all that
the
condensation
bottom.
once you take it out of the oven. It's
No,
raining on your
it's
pizza.
not an oven. It's not sealed. It's just a piece of tinfoil blocking the top heat. There's no condensation.
I need to know if the pizza pizzazz works. So we'll get to work on that, because that could change lives.
Did you get a
Will you have one of those?
I want to know if it works, but that could be the.
It does work. And those pizza ovens with the bottom heater only, that does work.
You have one of those,
It's
guys?
called a pizza pizzazz. You throw it on the circle and it's cooked. You don't need tinfoil. You don't need a big tinfoil.
Yes, you do. No, if you're heating up a slice, you want to take the pizza pizzazz, heat that thing up. It takes 30-40 minutes of the oven being on before you can even put the slice on it. I don't got that kind of time. I'm trying to warm up a slice. It's running the toaster. It's ready in 5 minutes. Just got to.
I didn't even know they make those things anymore.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of. There are pizza ovens galore for your
Google
home.
pizza pizzazz. I went bankrupt, but it looked like the coolest thing ever.
I've never heard of that in my entire life.
I didn't know the pizzazz name. There's like 20 different names. They're called they all have it's all the same product. I feel like it comes from China.
Dude, just put
Pizzazz is different. You got to look.
Just put a pizza oven in your outdoor fireplace and then go outside and cook it. Boom.
Who the hell's got time to go outside and light up a fireplace outside?
Burns, Geek has drones above him. How can you go outside and enjoy pizza?
I'm sitting on the roof with a shotgun half the day. Like, you think this is easy? I'm trying to hunt drones.
Should I just go down downtown where I live, and I got a little Sicilian lady. She cooks me up some serious New York style pizzas.
Sicilian lady? Are you in her house? Is it a pizza restaurant?
No, I'm not in her house. It's like I just know her too well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I go down there. She's like, I call her and I'm like, hey, I'll be down for my regular weekly order, and she's like, bam. It's just like with barbecue.
Or is it just
Oh God,
dude, I just call them at my barbecue joint, and I'm like, yeah, man.
Buckshot the drone. You think Buckshot can reach the drone as high up as it is? Like, I don't know how far Buckshot goes. It's like a duck.
might shoot back at you.
You think those things are armed with weapons?
No,
Maybe.
Can you imagine?
that'd be crazy though.
Drones flying around armed with weapons. The government's like, it's just hobbyists. It's fine.
Don't
Nothing
worry.
to worry about. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Helmets up this weekend, everybody. Again, Players Club tomorrow. I don't know, 1:30. I don't know when the first game starts. I haven't checked.
It's a 1 o'clock.
Yeah, so we'll start it up after the game. Hopefully, I'm not going to be too. It'll be a shorter one because I want to watch the games. So we'll keep it tight. I want to watch the games.
I just can't get Sicilian lady on.
Is it just a random Sicilian lady who lives up the street? Is it a
Right.
store? Is it a restaurant, Burns?
Yeah, man.
It's a restaurant? Oh. It'd be more awesome if you were just going
She
to like
gets
this lady's house.
everything. She brings in everything from Sicily.
Nice. Yes.
Dude, I'm
Tuesdays,
talking about
massages Thursdays.
Capicola. I'm talking about everything, and I'm like,
Gabagool,
because I'm New York style. at heart.
prosciutto, a little prosciutto.
I grew up in New York. I'm New York style pizza by heart, but I do
Well,
like Chicago though, Bobby. It's
Wait,
good.
Rochester, New York is not New York style pizza. That
Dude,
doesn't
trust me.
make
I've been. I know New York City pizza too. So
You've been to Sabaros?
Apparently, once you go Sicilian, you don't.
No,
go
I
back,
don't-
Geek,
I don't
so
do
you gotta-
Sbarro.
Wait, you've been to
I do not.
Sabaros?
No, I don't do Sbarro
Authentic
shit.
New York pizza?
True Sbarros. That shit is gross.
It's authentic, man.
Yeah, screw that. It's
Oh
not
my
authentic.
goodness. Nona is her name. Everybody calls her Nona. The Sicilian lady.
Jesus. No, it's not Nona.
All right. That's going to do it for this one, everyone.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next time. Helmets
Jesus
up.
Christ.
Take care. Merry Christmas if we don't see you before then.
But we
And
will.
a Happy
We
New
should.
Year, Feliz Navidad, and all that good stuff. All right. Take care, everybody.
Big time, no man, diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine.